welcome to episode 48 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate, a young but passionate knitter and crocheter. You can find all of the links in the description box below to the places where you can find me on social media, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you go ahead and do that. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a new video. I am so excited to be back with you guys today, chatting all things yarn and knitting and crocheting. I love filming these podcasts, and I'm so happy that all of you enjoy watching them. You can find the show notes for this episode down in the description box as well. So if you have any other questions about what I'm working on, you can check those out. But of course, if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below or send me an email to thegracefultangle@gmail.com and I will be sure to get back to you. Okay, so I have quite a few things to chat about with you guys today, and I am super excited about all of them. I broke through some walls, I guess is what you could say, with some designs that have been taking up so much time in my brain, taking up so much space, just trying to get them out. And they are finally moving forward, and I am so grateful for that. So let's just go ahead and hop into it today with a couple of finished objects. Okay, so I have two finished objects to talk about today. The first is a dishcloth. This is one of my patterns. It is the alternate dishcloth. I will link it down below. I recently updated this pattern last week and did a video tutorial for this crochet pattern. So I will link that down below if you want to check it out. Really love how this dishcloth turned out. I love making dishcloths. I love using dishcloths. My family uses only handmade dishcloths. We have ever since I started knitting and crocheting and making them, and it is just so fun to use them. And it's kind of, I don't know, they get used so much that eventually we just have to throw them away because they start falling apart. But that is something that I will never grow tired of, just because it means that we have used them constantly, and I love using things that I've made. But this again is the alternate dishcloth. Here is what the stitch pattern looks like close up. It's basically a slightly more advanced take on just a standard single crochet dishcloth. So I am currently going through a dishcloth series, a spring dishcloth series. So every Friday I am uploading a new tutorial to my YouTube channel and then updating the pattern to go along with it that I designed last year. So this is the second of that series. The one that I did last week was the basic beginner dishcloth, and that one is just single crochet. So this is exactly the same in terms of the stitches that you need to know how to do, but there's just a slight variation on the way that you do those stitches that makes for a really fun and unique result. So I'll link that pattern below if you want to check it out. I used Crochet Dishy for this dishcloth. The pink is Begonia, and the white is just called white. So really like the combo. I love framing the majority of the dishcloth in a different color. I really like the way that that looks. So that is my first finished object. The second finished object is super exciting. It is my second sample of my bluegrass socks. So this pattern is finally released. I could not be happier with this pattern. I couldn't be happier with my amazing testers. So many things happened over the course of me designing this pattern. I learned so much. I grew so much as a designer. Future sock patterns are going to be so much better because I designed this pattern and just found the layout that works, and I am just so excited about it. So these are the bluegrass socks. Here's what they look like on the blockers. Like I said, this is my second sample. These are for myself. The first prototype of the design was knit for my brother for his birthday last month. So that tells you how long this pattern has been coming. But here is what the sock looks like. Which, first of all, can we just appreciate how satisfying this is? These have been on the blockers for a few days. I have not worn them yet because I wanted to show them on the podcast first. And I wet blocked them. Which, by the way, I am doing beta this year vlog every day in April. you should totally check out the episode where I almost drained my sock down the sink. Yes, you heard me correctly. I made a reel about it on my Instagram page. Yeah, you should check that out. That was a fun adventure. But anyway, really love this sock so much. So the yarn that I used for this sock is Blue Moon Fiber Arts. I believe I have a new skein. Yes. Blue Moon Fiber Arts Luna Fingering in the colorway Electric Blue. I've talked about these socks for a few weeks now, so you probably already have this entire project memorized. But if you're new around here, these are, again, the bluegrass socks. I knit an afterthought heel. I also knit the size small according to the pattern. For my brother, I did the medium, if you're curious. And yeah, I just love them. Love the way these turned out. Love the way they drape and look. This yarn was so much fun to use. It was my first time using this brand at all, but also just the twist and the ply was a little bit different than I'm used to as well, and I really enjoyed using it. So, love these socks very much, and I am so happy they are done. I also love these sock blockers. I will link these down below as well. These are the ones from Knit Picks. They're just basic plastic stitch markers, oh my goodness, sock blockers. But my favorite thing about them is that I can put the socks on them when they are soaking wet from blocking, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the blockers get wet. I really like that about them. So that is it for finished objects. Just those two things. I do have a couple of works in progress to talk about, so let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, so I have two works in progress to talk about today, both of which I have made really good progress on this week. So, the first is my test. This is the Maple Grove cardigan by Janine of Knits and Knots. Now, this project hit a big bump in the road this past week. As the cardigan kept growing and I kept getting further along on the back panel, I realized that my gauge seemed like it was just a bit off. And I didn't understand what was going on because I swatched multiple times for this project and I achieved gauge with the size I hook, which is what I was using for this project. But something that tends to happen with me and my gauge and this specific stitch, which is the linen stitch, I tend to tighten up. As time goes on, my stitches get tighter and tighter, even if they start out loose. And that's exactly what happened with my first attempt at this project. So I realized that, and I measured it, tried to see if I was going to be able to block it out, because the way this cardigan is designed, I knew that if it needed to grow a couple of inches, it could. If it was a little bit too big, it would also be okay. Like, it's just one of those style cardigans that it's really okay if the gauge is slightly off. But because it's a test, I wanted to make it as close to pattern as possible. And I wasn't going to be able to block it to its fullest potential, just with how my gauge was at that point. So, I decided to rip it out and start again. Well, in all honesty, I actually haven't ripped it out yet. I just grabbed a new skein and started again. But I will be ripping it out because this is so much better. So, here is what it looks like right now. I know it probably doesn't look much different than last week, but I'm basically where I was. My goal for the rest of this weekend, I am filming this on Saturday, by the way. You won't see it until Tuesday, but that is what day it is right now. Anyway, so my goal for this weekend is actually to get the entire back panel done because I need to make some significant headway on this project. So, that is my plan right now. It is going so much better. My gauge is perfect. I am much more aware of it. One thing that I did that I think helped me a lot is I started the base with the size hook that Janine recommends in the pattern, which is the size K, 6.5mm crochet hook, and I didn't think I was going to need to use that large of a hook anyway, but I decided to do it. I swatched again and realized I needed to, so that is what I did. And then once I got a few rows in, I actually switched to a 7mm hook, and that seems to be doing the trick with my gauge differences. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really glad that I found a solution, and I'm really glad that it is going so well now. The drape is also just so much better than it was before, and it is just amazing. It's amazing. I am going to live in this cardigan next fall. I know I am. It's just a matter of, getting it done at this point, so that is what I am focusing on. The yarn that I am using is Cascade Pacific Worsted. The colorway number is 102, and it is showing up pretty dark on camera because that's exactly what it is in real life. It's a little bit more green, I guess technically a little more blue, really, than what it's showing up on camera. But it's like an antique teal color. It's so pretty, but hard to capture in camera, or on camera, I'm finding, which is a little bit annoying, but it's alright. So, that is what I am working on, the first project at least. I'm having so much fun with it. As much as I was discouraged by, restarting it, I'm really glad that I made the decision to do so because it is going so much better now. My second work in progress is my Sea and Ocean cardigan. So this is something that I really wanted to make some good headway on this week, and I did. I am so glad I was able to find the time to get some work done on this project, and I have officially split for the sleeves. So if you are familiar with this project, this is the Sea and Ocean cardigan by Julie of Twin Stitches Designs. I love Julie so much. She's an amazing designer. I look up to her in so many ways in this community, and I really, really like this pattern of hers. I tested it a while back, and it was last year sometime, and now I'm knitting my second version, and I'm having so much fun with it. So, here is my progress. I am doing kind of a gray to green fade situation, and I am on my second color right now, and I have split for the sleeves, and I just love it so much. So this is a really basic raglan cardigan. Here is what the raglan detail looks like. Really, really love the way that it looks. I am a sucker for a slick raglan, and this one is just amazing. And again, I split for the sleeves. So now it looks a little bit more like a sweater. It's a lot easier to show. And now I am just cruising down on the body. So I have quite a bit longer to go on the body because I am using a bunch of different colors. I am on this bright green right now. After this green, I will be going into, let's see which one I'm actually going to do. I think it's this one is what I'm going to do next. So it'll look like that. I think it is going to look so cool. I am so excited about this project. I have a picture on my Instagram page of the entire fade with the, when I had just started this project. So if you want to see that, I'll link it down below because it'll give you a better representation of all of the colors, better than what I can try to do right now on camera. So if you want to see them all together, check out that picture. But yeah. I love this project so much. I'm having so much fun with it. I mentioned in one of my Vader vlogs that this is kind of a project that I work on when I need a break. I have a lot of things that need to get done right now. I have some designs in the works. I have a couple of tests going. I have one secret test that I can't show you, but it's taking up a lot of time as well. It's amazing. I cannot wait to show you guys, but it is taking up some time. And then there's actually even another making project that I can't show you either. I hope to share more about that soon, but I can't right this minute. Anyway, so all of those things together take up most of my days, that and school, because school. But when I need a break, or when I have a few minutes, this is what I go to, because it's just space for me to just relax and be creative. The pattern is so easy that I don't have to think about it. And I just love that about this pattern. So here is this cardigan. I am using the needles that she recommends, which is size 9. These are my Knit Picks nickel plated needles. Love them so much. And then this, by the way, is Knit Picks City Tweed. I realized I didn't talk about that before, but that is what this yarn is. And I love it. I'm having so much fun with this project. So that is that. I am hoping to make some good progress on the body this week. In a perfect world, I would get the body done, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to be able to happen. What I want to happen, though, is the body of the Maple Grove cardigan. I definitely want to get that done this week. So I should have some really good progress to show y'all next week on both of those projects. So that is it for my works in progress that aren't designs, but I do have 2 super exciting designs to talk about with you guys. So let's just do that. Alrighty, so like I said, I have 2 designs to talk about. I am in multiples of 2 apparently. 2 finished objects, 2 work in progress, 2 designs. Took way too long for me to come up with that word, but 2 designs. So the first is my newest sock design. Yes, I am already working on my second one. Just released my first 2 sock patterns. You heard me correctly, but I'm having so much fun. It's like a can't stop, won't stop kind of vibe. But this sock I am already loving so much. So in reality, I have already designed these socks. These are the socks that I knit for my sister for her birthday. I use self-striping yarn in actually this color. Well, it doesn't do me any good if the label comes off. Let's get that out. So this is Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Carrot Cake. This is what I use for her socks. They're going to be called the Carousel socks. I do not have the actual socks to show you because my sister has them. I need to get them next week so I can show you. But I'll figure out some. I'll probably insert a picture at the end of what the socks look like, but I'll figure out someone to show you. Anyway, these, I'm working on my second sample because I will be doing a tester call for these tomorrow. So stay tuned for that on Instagram if you want to test these socks for me. But this is what I have to show so far. So I realize I'm not going to be able to really show you what these look like in this episode, but I am using some new needles and some beautiful yarn. So let's talk about that. So all I have done right now is the ribbing, but this yarn is just beautiful. I am in love with this color. This is Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Eucalyptus Tonal. I said it. Go me. It is a gorgeous minty sage green. I love it so much. I mean, I knew I was going to like it just based on the pink, but as soon as I picked it up, I knew it was going to be even more gorgeous than I originally anticipated, and I'm just having so much fun knitting this sock. I'm using 9-inch ChiaoGoo size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. These are some new needles that I recently got, and I am loving them. I'm having so much fun working with them. Yeah, it's been amazing. If you would like to kind of see how I knit socks on 9-inch circulars, let me know in the description. You can't comment in the description box. In the comments below, or send me an email, because I would love to know if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, I am just having so much fun working on this. So I know it's not too much to show right now, but I will talk about them again next week. And again, I will be posting about them tomorrow on Instagram for a tester call. So stay tuned for that as well. But I'm having so much fun with this design. I'm really happy that I was able to get it started, because I've been meaning to for a while. So loving that so much. And now that the Bluegrass Socks pattern is published, I can fully focus on a new one. So that is what I'm doing right now. Now my second design is a new blanket. Now this blanket is super special, and I'm going to be able to talk about that in a little bit. But for now, let me just tell you, this blanket took me hours to come up with a plan, come up with a pattern, figure out what I wanted to look like, because it was just so difficult for some reason. It's not going to be a difficult pattern. It's not at all. I've got it, just about done now. I'm just working on the sample. But I don't know what took so long. It was just hard to design a chart, to make it look like how I wanted it to look. But I have officially started. I don't have much to show on this either. But again, you will see more of it next week. This is what I have so far. It's literally just like the bottom border section, so it's just a glitter right now, but I'm about to go into the gorgeous chevron style pattern for the body of the blanket, and it's going to be amazing. I am using Knit Picks Swish Bulky in the colorway Squirrel Heather. Here's what it looks like. It is just so soft, so squishy and airy. I am having so much fun working on this project. And then I am using size 10 needles, and look at how fun these tips are. Let me tighten this one so that you can see it. These are the rainbow tips from Knit Picks. Oh my goodness, they are so fun to knit with. There was just so much color. I love them so much. I'm gonna have to get a whole set eventually. These are the only tips that I have in this line, but I am definitely gonna have to get a whole set one day. So I'm having so much fun with this project. Like I said, it took me so long. It's literally been all week, guys. I have tried to come up with a design for this blanket, figure out how I can make it work, and I just got it set last night. So now it's just time to knit away, and it is going to be so fun. I'm really excited about it. So that is it for all of the knitting and crochet content. I'm working on so many things behind the scenes that I can't wait to show you. I'm hoping to have another design actually going next week, so hopefully I'll have that to show as well. And then of course my other test knit that I can't show right now is taking up a lot of time as well. But again, you will be able to see that soon, so don't worry too much about it. Now let's go ahead and chat about Little Devotion and a life update. So for this week's devotion, I wanted to talk a little bit about seasons. So something that I have been thinking a lot about this past week and even, all year really, is how our lives, not to sound like, not to dwindle our life down to nothing, but our lives are composed of different seasons of life, right? Like we go through different phases throughout our life. And I feel like the older I get, the more I can actually understand what that actually means, what each different season actually means. So to put it into context, let's not put it into context. Oh my goodness. To put it into context, this time last year, almost exactly a year ago, I was a senior in high school and I was in the thick of it. I mean, my senior year was difficult for so many reasons. But what made it the hardest for me is just the amount of unknowns. I didn't know what college I was going to. I hear so many stories about students who, know what college they want to go to their entire school career. And I think that's amazing. I think it's awesome to have a goal like that to work toward. But I was just not one of those students. I didn't know what college I wanted to go to. It was really just whatever one I got a scholarship to. So I was in the season of not knowing what my next step was, and then of course the pandemic was just starting and I was a senior in high school. And so, a lot of things that were going to happen, such as a more formal graduation and, maybe a couple parties or things like that, none of that happened. Absolutely none of it. And while I am so grateful for that now, and then I was so grateful for whatever happened then as well, it was a different season that I'm in now. Now I'm in college. I'm in a completely different season of life, and it is not what I expected it to look like. I can say that with 100% honesty, that it is not what I expected it to look like. Growing up, I was always told stories of how college is fun, and, you have friends that you hang out with all the time, and parties, and things like that, and I am much more of an introvert, so that wasn't something that I was particularly drawn to in the first place. But going to college, a community college, most kids still live at home. And so when we go to class, and then we leave. Like, there's not really an in-between. And then also we're all wearing masks. And it's really hard to get to know somebody when you're wearing a mask and you can't really understand each other. So I say all of that to say that something that I have learned the past year, and I'm probably going to get a lot more sentimental in the next few episodes because this is also my last month of being 18, and so it's just kind of a month of recollection, I'm realizing. But I say all of that to say that something that I have learned this past year, and what I want to encourage all of you with, is that God tries to teach us something and has a goal for us to learn in every single season of life. I personally do not believe in coincidence. I believe that God intercepts in our lives, sometimes in the most significant ways and sometimes in the most insignificant ways, but nothing just flies by God's eyes. You know, He is aware of everything that's happening, and even if that thing isn't good or what we would choose to happen, we have the ability to go closer to Him because of it and to learn from it. And so that's what I want to encourage you with today, that no matter what season you're in of life right now, whether it's like me and you're in college, or whether you're much older than me or even younger, I would encourage you to just take a moment to learn and appreciate the season that you're in and figure out what you can glean from it. Because I think it's so important to recognize how you're feeling, whether it's something that you're battling, something that is you're having so much fun with, whatever the case may be, to recognize it, to not let it, escape you, but to recognize it, to be in that moment, like I talked about a few episodes ago, to be in that moment and then to learn from it and to grow from it as a person, and then take what you learned to the rest of your life. That is definitely my goal right now, is to take this difficult season of school that I'm in right now and to learn ways to apply what I have learned in the future. So, which is a goal that I should have in school, but I also mean just, the stress that comes with it and turning in assignments and all of that stuff. There's so much that I can learn and then take with me for the rest of my life. So that is definitely my goal right now. With that, we can talk about a little life update. So like I mentioned earlier, I am doing a Veda, which is vlog every day in April. It is a crazy commitment, I'm not gonna lie, but it's going great. One of my goals for this month was to do this series and just to learn so much, like I was talking about just a minute ago, to take this season, to take this month and learn from it. And in this case, I'm trying to learn how to edit more effectively and efficiently, getting videos edited, exported, uploaded all within a 24-hour span is kind of a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm settling into a groove with it, learning how to do it daily, and that is something that is going to help me with future vlogs like this, just to be better at editing them and making them as a whole. So I'm learning a lot with that. I'm having so much fun with it. I hope you are enjoying it. I will link the most recent beta episode, or at least, one of them, down below in the description box if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's basically just, 30 days, April 1st through April 30th, of vlogging every day and showing you kind of what my life is like. There's definitely going to be some, recurring events such as school 3 days a week and, going back and forth to that. So you're going to see some repetitiveness, but I'm hoping that it is enjoyable nonetheless, even though my life is not super exciting right now. Yeah, I'm just not a super social person, and I'm learning, so I just don't have so many things that I have going on happen right in this little space right here. So I'm very busy, but in unique ways I am learning. So anyway, I'm doing that. Yeah, other than that, the weather has been beautiful lately. It is warm and we've been eating lunch outside. It's been amazing. We had some storms like yesterday actually as I'm recording this, but this weekend as a whole. But luckily nothing too major. What else? I had a big interview at school this past week, which was crazy. I have never experienced anything like that. But it's basically an interview for an award that I was nominated for at my college. And it's pretty crazy. It's an award that like a professor of yours has to nominate for, like nominate you for, like you can't apply for it or anything. So I just didn't know what to expect. Like I was honored, but I was also like, okay, cool. Like I just didn't know what to think about it. Turns out it's a pretty big deal. I chose to dress nice for the occasion, and I'm really glad that I did, because there was somebody before me who is actually in one of my other classes, and he was like wearing a full-on suit. So I'm really glad that I chose to wear a dress that day. But anyway, I think it went really well, and we will see. Nothing might happen, or something might happen. I don't know yet. But either way, it was a really good experience, and I'm kind of proud of myself of just how I handled the situation, because I didn't know what to expect, and I don't do well with unknowns. But it was really good. So I had that, and of course, you know, school is crazy, but it's going. We're in our last month, really. Finals are in the first week of May, and then I have a little bit of a break before summer classes, so I am itching to be in that break, but for now, I am just powering through this last month. But that is it for episode 48. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you just enjoyed seeing all my progress and joining me today. I appreciate it so much. I want to connect with y'all more, so please comment down below, or if the comments aren't working, because I know it's hit or miss, super frustrating, but please don't hesitate to send me an email at thegracefultangle@gmail.com, because I want to connect with y'all in every way that I can. So be sure to follow my other social media platforms linked below so that we can continue that as well. And of course, don't hesitate to send any emails. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and check out those beta vlogs. I also have a brand new giveaway running, so I'll link that down below as well. Be sure to check that out and enter if you so desire. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.